after a week of the shockwaves, the concern continues. For more, let's turn to our resident of Moscow, Idaho. Sean Richards is with us. Sean, thank you for joining us. We are so sorry for you and your community. What is the mood? What is the sense there now at this moment?
Well, I think the prevailing mood, of course, is devastation, heartbreak, but also it's very tense. People are concerned about where this person or persons is, since there's not a suspect or anything. So it's pretty tense, and people are just trying to be vigilant and keep an eye out for one another.
Do you have any comfort, any sense of relief in the sense that the police have said that they believe this is a targeted killing, and are people changing their behaviors because of what happened?
I don't think people are really changing their behavior because of the statement from the police about the targeted killings. It's just, there's just so many unanswered questions and unexplained circumstances that people are just still trying to be real careful.
Yeah, we don't know, obviously, who did it. We don't know if it was romantic rejection, some fury and anger, a personal emotion involved in this. Let's look at some of the evidence that police and has been reported so far. Let's take a look at the timeline for a second, if we can. We know that two of the girls, Kaylee and Madison, that they went to a bar downtown at 10 p.m., and they were at that bar downtown to about 1:30 in the morning. Then they left the corner club. We see the timeline on the screen. And they walked over to that food truck. This was about 1:41 in the morning. Then they apparently got a ride from somebody at 1:45. And we have not yet been told who that person is who drove them back to the house. They're attacked from 3 to 4 in the morning. And now you have new reports about the phone calls. Kaylee giving 7 phone calls to her longtime boyfriend from 2:26 to 2:52 a.m. You see Kaylee on the left, Madison on the right. Also 3 calls from their phone from 2:44 to 2:52. So, Sean, it seems maybe something happened at 2:52 or right after that. We don't know, as of this moment, if it was Kaylee and Madison making those calls or if it was someone else, potentially the killer, making those calls. What do you hope to learn soon? There'll be a news conference later on tonight. What's most concerning on people's minds, and hope to potentially clear this all up?
Well, I think obviously the number one priority would be to identify a suspect and, of course, apprehend them. There's just, again, it's just so confusing with all this information about the phone calls and the other 2 people that were in the house. I think we just need more answers, period.
Yeah, and certainly we'll probably get those later on today. You have traffic cameras, security cameras, cell phone towers actually can identify someone's cell phone if they're looking into that. Sean, our prayers and our thoughts are with you and with the residents of Moscow, Idaho, in this very difficult time. We expect that press conference less than 6 hours from now, so perhaps you and us and the rest of the nation can get some answers. Sean Reinhardt of Moscow, Idaho. Thank you, Sean, for joining us.
Thank you.
Of course.
This is why you should never leave your friend alone if she has been drinking.
This is the tragic case of Kanika Jenkins, a young girl who went to a hotel party and never returned. On the 8th of September 2017, Kanika told her mother she was just going bowling with a few friends. Instead, Kanika went to a party on the 9th floor of the Crowne Plaza Hotel in Chicago. Now, security footage from the night showed Kanika and her friends entering the Crowne Plaza Hotel at about 1 a.m. Now, her friends later told police that this was not a good party. The guys there were quite aggressively flirting with the girls and made them feel really uncomfortable. At about 3 a.m., the group decided to leave. When they reached the hotel lobby, Kanika realized she had accidentally left her phone and some other belongings back at that hotel party. Now, her friends decided to leave her in the hotel lobby while they ran up to grab her things. They were gone for about 10 to 20 minutes, and when they returned, Kanika was gone. Understandably, her friends were really worried, and they searched everywhere for her. At 4:30 a.m., they decided to give Kanika's mother a call. They thought maybe Kanika had just gone home. Now, when Kanika's mother found out that Kanika was missing, she was rightfully very worried, especially since Kanika had not gone home. She also told her friends that Kanika was really bad at handling any type of alcohol. Now, her mother rushed to the hotel and requested to review some of the security footage in order to locate Kanika, but the hotel staff refused. They said they had reviewed the security footage and could assure her that they didn't see Kanika there. 7:15 that morning, Kanika was reported as an official missing person. Now, security footage from that night was handed over to police, but they didn't review it till 10 p.m. that night because the hotel staff had already told them that they couldn't see Kanika on it. So that evening, an officer decided to double check, and he was completely shocked by what he saw. He saw Kanika stumbling around the hotel. She was last seen entering the kitchen, in particular entering the freezer. This particular kitchen in the hotel was being renovated, and so not many people wandered down there. However, they had left the freezer on because they were sort of using it as a spare freezer. When it was discovered that this was where she was last seen, police rushed to check the freezer, and that's where they found Kanika's body frozen solid. They did an autopsy, and she had in fact been drinking that night. Initially, there was heaps of theories floating around about what happened to her that night. Were her friends involved? The people from that apartment party involved? There was simply no evidence to back any of it, and Kanika's death was declared an accident. Now, this was rightfully devastating for Kanika's parents. They ended up suing the hotel for about $50 million. For more 7 Sin crime stories, remember to follow.
She thought she was alone. So Casey Rodriguez went solo camping over the summer in Appalachia. She had just broken up with her longtime boyfriend and wanted some time alone. Casey had picked a really remote area to set up her tent in and reportedly didn't see a single other person the entire time she was camping. Though at night she claimed there was a strange rustling noise coming from outside her tent, but she just chalked it up to local wildlife. So when she gets home, she gives her dad her vintage camera and asks him to develop the photos for her. And this part gave me chills. Casey's dad calls her and asks if she met anyone while she was out camping. And Casey's like, no, it was just me. But then he asks her again and says it's fine if she met someone out there, but he just needs her to be honest with him. And again, Casey's like, Dad, no, I would tell you if I met someone out there. I was by myself the whole time. This was one of the photos that Casey's father developed. A photo of Casey asleep in her tent, taken on her own camera.
Some profiling commentary on the University of Idaho murders. This one's a little dark, so scroll if you don't want to hear it. All these students lived together in the same house. There was no forced entry. It's likely the suspect knew at least one of them. Regardless, I'll have a few safety tips at the end of the video. The suspect's likely male and probably under 25. I don't have the case file, so I'm guessing. The scene was large and careless. That usually indicates a young, inexperienced person. He took a huge risk going against 6 people. That also indicates a young person. The assailant's weapon was a large survival knife. My guess, he's probably a hunter. Stabbing someone's not like the movies. There's usually a lengthy struggle, and it's messy. Some suspects will get startled at what they're seeing and stop. He continued on 3 more times. He's probably also the same race. A knife is a quiet weapon. It is also very personal. My guess is he was stalking one of the girls, or he was rejected in some way. He's also probably local. Why did he stop? He either got spooked or he got his intended target. He got a 9-hour head start before alarms were sounded. I'd be looking for people that didn't show up to work the next day. Because he's out at all hours of the night, he probably is single and he probably has a job that will allow him to do it. Because of DNA, he 100% will be caught. With all the DNA family tree services, somebody that's related to the suspect can inadvertently help catch them. My podcast on the Golden State Killer is an example of this. You can catch that one on YouTube. That's the easy button to help get you there. Please give me a follow. A safety tip for college kids living in one house. Designate one person every night goes and checks all the windows and doors to make sure they're locked. Every night before I go to bed, I make sure the alarm's armed, and I walk the perimeter of my house to make sure all the doors and windows are locked. Dogs are also man's best friend for a reason.
I feel like you. I feel like you. It has to be a way out. When you love me when you wake up. I feel like you. I feel like you. feel like you're hostage, now your love.
I'm coming to you with a major update in the Shanquella Robinson case. Today was Thanksgiving. I've been busy for 2 days cooking and having family over, and I had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you did too. I imagine for Shanquella Robinson's family, it was a very mixed emotion day because today was their first holiday without her, and that's tough. I've been there. I know that. But also, the good news for them was that Mexican authorities have issued an arrest warrant for Dejanay Jackson, the woman who attacked Shanquella Robinson. So the Mexican authorities in Big Sur, California, Big Sur, a Mexican state, have confirmed that they have issued an arrest warrant for Dejanay Jackson's arrest. U.S. officials are working with them to extradite her back to Mexico. The other news is that Winter Donovan, the other woman who was present in the villa, the one who called the ambulance and called the doctor, gave an interview to a press outlet, and she stated in that interview that Dejanay and Shanquella had been in an argument over something that Shanquella had done when they were drinking and when she was intoxicated. So basically blaming Shanquella for the attack. So not only are they not being arrested, they're blaming Shanquella for the attack. And she said, when me and my girl get in a fight, we just going to fight it out. That's just how it works. We just going to fight it out. Okay, that's barbaric. I don't know anybody else who does that. And I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I don't believe that everybody just goes around fighting out their problems. This is a civilized society, okay? And in that process, you killed somebody. Also, perhaps the worst thing of all that I saw today was that Shanquella's best friend who was there on the trip, a male who was her best friend, filmed her passed out in a hammock and said, "We got our first dead body though, she out." Well, wasn't that prophetic? Maybe if you'd stepped in, she wouldn't have been dead. We're finally getting a little bit of justice for Shanquella, but it's only a start.